Welcome back to the daily segment of Where's My Sock, where I take podcast and audio terms and define them in plain English to help you along your podcast journey. Hello, my name is Mr. E. Today's term is expanding to merchandise and events. Because at a certain point, the show can become more than an episode. It can become a shared experience. So what does expanding to merchandise and events even mean in plain English? Merchandise is physical items connected to your podcast, like shirts, stickers, mugs, or other products that carry your show's name, artwork, or message. Events are real-time experience connected to your podcast, like live recordings, meetups, workshops, or even online live streams. In plain terms, this is when your podcast expands from audio people listening to into things people can wear, attend, or even participate in. So why do these things even matter? Because merch and events are not just extra stuff, they change the kind of work your podcast requires. When you sell merch, you're dealing with things like design choice that match your show identity, ordering, inventory, shipping, or fulfillments, customer questions and refunds. And then on the other side, when you're hosting an event, you have to worry about planning and scheduling, ticketing, if that's even relevant. Your whole setup, if you're going to do some kind of live stream, can it even sustain doing that for so long? And the experience for the people who show up. This term exists so you treat merch and events as an extension of your podcast system, not just a fun idea you add on top of everything else. The podcast is like a sock. Merch is putting the sock in a nice package, and an event is inviting people to the laundry room to sort socks together. Same sock, different level of involvement. What you'll probably notice first when you consider doing this is realizing that merch and events only work when the show already has clarity. If someone doesn't understand what your podcast is, they're not going to wear it or show up for it. So these expectations tend to work best when you can describe your show simply. Your audience knows what they're joining, and you have a consistent rhythm. Another common moment, it's easy to underestimate the operational side. Even a small merch run or a small event becomes smoother when you define the scope first. What exactly are you offering? How do people get it? And what success looks like in plain terms. Wrapping things up, expanding to merchandise and events means extending your podcast into physical items and shared experiences, things listeners can buy, wear, or attend. If you only remember one thing, remember this. Treat merch and events like a separate mini project with clear scope, not an add-on you'll figure out later. Next time, we'll tackle podcast rebranding and evolution. Because sometimes the long-term move isn't adding more, it's changing what the show is so it fits where you're going. Thank you for listening. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the show. Because you don't ever want to miss out on this information so that you can be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today.